So I have been taking you through the shloks of Bhagavad Gita of chapter 1 every day. And today I thought that let me summarize chapter 1 for you. And then tomorrow I will be taking you to again shlokas from chapter 2. So in chapter 1, it starts with Dhritarashtra Uvacha. Now who is Dhritarashtra? Dhritarashtra is a blind king. And it starts with him saying that I want to know about the battle. And he wants to know about the battle from someone who is his charioteer and who is going to be a detached observer. So there's a sense of detachment right in the beginning. There is a sense of, being involved and yet keeping oneself somewhere away from it. So Shlok 1 starts with Dhritarashtra Uvacha Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyutsavaha Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya, which basically means that Dhritarashtra tells Sanjay that Sanjay, tell me what is going on in the battle. In Shlok 2, we shift to Sanjay. Sanjay relates the tone of the battle and Sanjay focuses on Duryodhan. So he says that Drishtva tu Pandava Kinam Vyudham Duryodhanastada Acharya Upasamgamya Raja Vachana Abravit. That Sanjay is relating that Duryodhan, when he sees the Pandav army, he goes on to speak to his Acharya. His Acharya is Drona. So first we see Dhritarashtra, the blind king who introduces the battlefield. Then we go to the detached observer Sanjay. And now Sanjay focuses on Duryodhan. We are going from one character to another. We have not come to Arjun. We have not come to Krishna, who are known as the lead characters in the Bhagavad Gita. But the beauty of chapter 1 is the whole tone of the battle and the whole environment is set beautifully before introducing Arjun and Krishna. So Duryodhan goes to Drona and he says that look at the sides of the Pandavas. They are also your students because Drona was a teacher of both the Pandavas as well as the Kauravas. Incidentally, Arjun was Drona's favorite student and Drona is fighting against Arjun. Duryodhan tells Drona that Atra Maheshvasa. So he says Atra Shura Maheshvasa, which basically means that look at them, look at the warriors on the other side. Atra Shura Maheshvasa, like these are real warriors on Pandav's side. So he starts to take the names of one warrior after the other in the Pandav army. So he talks about Arjun, he talks about Yudhishthir, he talks about Bhim, he goes on to talk about Drupad's sons, which are Shikhandi and Drishtadumna. He talks about Draupadi's 5 sons, he talks about Chekitana, he talks about an array of warriors on the Pandav side. He talks about Raja of Kashi, everyone. He's talking about each and every warrior on the Pandav side. You're kind of surprised because he hasn't even introduced the warriors on his side. And then just one shlok he dedicates to the warriors on his side. He says even we have warriors. It's not that we don't have warriors. We also have warriors. We have Bhishma, we have Drona, we have Kripa, we have Ashwatthama. But just one shlok is dedicated by Duryodhan about the warriors on his side. And then Duryodhan says something which finally reveals his feelings. He says, Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishma birakshitam Paryaptam Tvidam Itisham Balam Bhima Bhirakshitam, which basically means that Duryodhan is saying that my army is not enough. My army does not have enough warriors. Whereas Bhima's army, that's the Pandav's army, has Paryapt warriors, has enough warriors. And Duryodhan's spirit was low. Now, with this kind of being intimidated, Bhishma needed to do something. So Bhishma did something which was blowing his conch. Now, the moment Bhishma's conch, it sounded like this. It sounded like Simhanad, which was basically the roar of a lion. Now, the moment that happened, there were kettle drums, there was Gomakha, there was Shankha, all in the Kaurava army. And there was this energy which was of war weapons, of war instruments which were played in the Kaurava army. But the Pandavas were not to be discouraged. The Pandavas also had their own thing to do. The Pandavas, along with Rishikesh, that is along with Krishna, started blowing their conches. So each one of them had a separate conch and their names were mentioned. Rishikesh had Panchajanya, Devdatta was Dhananjaya's, that is Arjun's. You have Yudhishthir's conch was named Ananta Vijaya. Bhima's conch was named Pondra. I have all mentioned this in my earlier episodes. So all these conches were blown. And after these conches were blown, you finally see the appearance of Arjun. Arjun in his chariot along with Krishna. And Arjun comes with this attitude, the winner's attitude. So the first thing that Arjun says that he tells Krishna that take me right into the middle of the army. I want to check. I want to gauge who are on my side, because there's a huge army out there. Who are on my side and who are on the other side. He actually says that Senayor ubhayo madhye rathan sthapaya mechute, that O infallible one, O Krishna, take me right in the middle of the battlefield. I want to see who are my enemy. He goes on to see that I want to see who are on the side of Durbuddhe Duryodhan to please him and who are on my side. So this Arjun is all out to check out his enemies and lodge the war. So Krishna takes Arjun right into the middle of the battlefield, and then he does something which is a turning point. He makes Arjun face his seniors, his teacher, and he makes Arjun realize that your family is also your opponent. So it goes like this, that Bhishma Drona Pramukhata Sarvesham cha Mahikshitam Uvache Partha Pashyatam Samavetan Kuruniti. That there's Bhishma, there's Drona, there's everyone who are your opponents, but who are also Kurus. Kuru means their ancestor they all come from the ancestor who is Kuru, and that's why they are all called Kuru. In fact, Kauravas, that's also come from Kuru. And then it suddenly strikes Arjun, and suddenly Arjun is not focusing on the battle anymore, but he sees Acharya Matulan Bhratran Putran Potran Sakhim Sthata, that he sees his people on the other side. And suddenly Arjun starts developing a cold feet. When he sees it suddenly haunts him that what is he's going to do. The enormity of that whole task finally comes on to him. And he describes himself, he describes the reaction that is there, that is happening in his body. He says, Siddhanti mama gatrani mukham cha parishashyate that my whole body is quivering, my mouth is drying up, and the Gandiv is slipping from my hands because my hand is burning. So this Arjun, who is this doer and who focuses on work, suddenly is saying that all this is happening. He goes on to say that, he's seeing ill omen, and he is seeing that, this war cannot breed anything good. This Arjun, who has always been focusing on the now, who has been focusing on the present, was now looking at the pre and looking at the post. And this Arjun, who suddenly Arjun has developed cold feet. Suddenly Arjun does not want to fight his people anymore. And he keeps on saying that he talks about sin, he talks about going to hell, he talks about no order in the family. He takes the name of religion, he takes the name of women to, find his way out of this work that he has to do, to find his way out of the commitment that he has kept. And then he says that, Eta nahantam ichhami gnatopi madhutsudana api trailokya rajasya heto kimnu mahi krite, that I don't want to kill at all. Even if you give me the 3 worlds, still I don't want to kill my own people at all. This own people, he is out to fight. There are thousands and thousands of soldiers involved. There are lives involved. There is money involved. There's everything involved. And more so, they have so many reasons to fight this war. But suddenly, there are doubts in Arjun's mind. And then Arjun says something. And I find it, I don't know, I'll tell you, it's the most ironical shlok that I find, where he says that Yadi mama pratikaram ashastra shastra pranayaha dharta rashtra rane bhanyu tanve kshemataram bhavet, which basically means that I'd rather die without any weapon in front of the sons of Dhritarashtra. But you know what? So basically he says that I would rather not pick up weapons and I would rather die nihanta against my brothers. But if you look at Mahabharata, the battle of Kurukshetra, there were 2 deaths. And those 2 deaths were where the warriors did not have any weapon. Karna was trying to pick up the wheels of his chariot, and he did not have any weapon in his hand when he was killed by Arjun. And who was Karna actually? Karna was Arjun's brother. Arjun killed his brother when he did not have any weapon in his hand. And Duryodhan was killed by Bhima, of course in a mace fight. But final blow to Duryodhan was below the thighs, and which was not according to the rules of the mace fight during those times. So both the times it was from the Pandav's side where the brothers were killed when they did not have any weapon in their hand, Karna as well as Duryodhan. So that is what it's almost ironical, and chapter 1 is almost like Arjun knows that he has to fight. He has a lot of doubts. He needs help so that he can clear the doubt and focus on the now. And I think that's where is the seed of Gita, that focus on the now.